Hello, gorgeous. I'm super excited to have you here. So today we're talking about what are the keys of letting go of the past failures, the past things that the goals that you didn't reach, the things that happened maybe last year, last month, last week, yesterday, regardless of when it was. Once you realize there is something holding you back and there is some kind of negative feeling that is pulling you back from reaching forward, from moving ahead, from getting your mind in the game, one of the first things we have to do is to give it a second. Instead of pushing it down, instead of trying to get rid of it, you need to give it a voice for one moment. And whenever you do that, what you do is that you take the power away from that fear, from that negative feeling, from whatever it was that it was holding you back. So that is the first place where we're starting today. If you're thinking, I know I have a goal, I know I want things to move forward, but somehow I am holding myself back, I am playing small because I didn't reach certain goal, because I didn't do certain thing, then today we're going to break it down into what are the 4 areas you need to look at to move ahead. So how do we do it? So I want you, if you're taking notes, the first place where I want you to see is number one is get clear on what is it that is holding you back. Is it a feeling that you didn't give all you've got? Is it a feeling that the goal didn't happen? Like what happened that made you feel that that situation was a failure? At times I feel like it could be a launch, it could be an offer, it could be a thing you were trying to put out into the world and you feel that you didn't get either the results or the solution, like the thing that you wanted, and so you hold yourself back. But what I want you to see is that in reality, whenever we get clear, we're able to see that it had to do with something away from you, like something that it wasn't under your control. Or was it something that you didn't show up all the way? Was it that you needed to take more action? Like what was the situation? But number one is getting clear. So let's get clear on what you feel happened. I want to use a quick example. In my case, there was something that I was looking at a certain time in my life. It was before I started making the 5-10K months and before I started growing my business even faster. And this happens even still when after we go for a goal as a team, if we ever don't reach that goal, I'm looking at what happened, what was the thing. And I remember that I was feeling held back, like I'm not good enough, this is not going to happen, no matter how hard I try. And I was just all up in my head, right? Then as I started getting clear, one of the things that started coming up was I wasn't selling every day. I wasn't showing up with the conviction and with the passion and the power that I know I have to be able to bring these people in. And I began to realize that even though I was taking action, even though I was doing the things, and as a team we were doing the things, I wasn't coming from that place of power and certainty, knowing that this was the offer I was meant to put out into the world. So when I was clear on that, I was able to see, yeah, there were certain things that didn't work, there were certain things that happened, but I got clear in what was my part, what made me not fully do that. And when I realized what it was, then honestly, I was able to start moving forward. So, girls. So number two, the other thing that I want you to think about is, does it have to do with mindset? When you're thinking about mindset, does it come to the place where you're not believing in yourself? And one of the things that I do, fear is always going to come up, doubt's always going to come up, but at some point you just have to move forward. At some point you just have to stop like trying to change that limiting belief, stop trying to remove the block, and just go against the block. And it's not about resisting the block as much as it is moving through it or continuing to take action regardless of the block being there. One of my mentors, I love what she says, is that you have to keep moving until the block moves. So how cool is that? Think about it. Whatever the block is, maybe it's the visibility level, or that you're still creating relationships, that you're getting better at selling, that you're getting better at presenting your offers, or whatever it is. How can you move forward? How can you learn from it and actually start moving with the mindset, with your head in the game, knowing you're here to serve people, like you're here to make this impact. For you, this money, this business, everything you're doing is not just about you. Is that you have to reach these people to live out your calling. You have to reach these people to be able to make the impact and the difference that God sent you here to make. So let's go. Number 3 has to do with strategy. Do you have a strategy that actually helps you and positions you as the leader for your people? And this is so important when it comes to knowing what is it that you're offering. Why is it that your people want it? What is the return on their investment if they were to invest or if they were to buy that offer from you? And a lot of the time, what I find is that whenever you're looking to go for your 5 to 10K month, the game changer in regards to the strategy is actually getting clear on the strategy. It doesn't mean that you know every step. Doesn't mean that you're totally like on it about what everything is going to be. But in reality, it does mean that you at least have a client conversion strategy. So what I like to call a client conversion strategy, it's nothing more and nothing less than us knowing where we're bringing people in and how are they going to move forward. So I want to know, do you have a client conversion strategy? If not, you can look through some of my content. I am always talking about client conversion strategy, which is beyond just funnels, but it's really knowing how do you attract people, how do you engage them, and how do you convert them. So your client conversion strategy must have those 3 pieces. We're going to be talking about it even more in the next training. And then last is your align action, where you taking consistently align action, what I like to call align hustle. So I love the word hustle. I'm going to be honest with you, because for me it has a different connotation than just like making it hard and all of the different stuff. It's more about the fun, the going, the conviction that this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm here to say. This is the time. I must show up. I need to sell. I need to put this solution that I have in front of the people I'm here for. So whenever you're coming from that place of power, passion, and all of that, it's impossible to not stand out. It's impossible to not move forward. It is impossible for people to not notice you. So what I want you to look at is, are you taking the aligned actions consistently enough to allow people to get to know, like, and trust you, to get people to get to see that this offer is exactly what they need? Are you being consistent? And whenever you realize that, you realize, perhaps I need to up my game, right? So one of the things that happened with me, and that always happens whenever I'm looking to let go of past failures to move ahead, I am able to gain my power back when I recognize what is it that I did, or what is it that I could have done different. So no more fighting the failure, no more trying to push it away, no more trying to like make yourself feel bad for it. It is actually time to embrace that failure, look at it with your eyes, like look at whatever it was, and choose how are you going to move forward? How are you going to move past it? How are you going to learn from it? How are you going to build on it? One of the affirmations I love to say is, I will monetize this failure, meaning I am going to learn from whatever it is, and I am going to actually be able to help people from it. And my business is going to grow due to that. So how can you move forward today? I want to close by saying this. What if you had a solid strategy for the next 90 days? And if you have a strategy, can you commit to working on it and to working that strategy, showing up daily with your head on the game? To me, there are two steps or two different stages to going for a strategy. The first one is when we're getting clear on the strategy, we're defining the strategy, we're getting clear on how many people you want to serve, what's the offer, and all these details. But then once we have that set up, it's time to get out of your head. It's time to get out of the constant like wondering, is this or whatever. It's time to take action. And once we move to the time to take action, it's time to commit yourself to the game, to show up, to go farther, to go higher, to go for it. Whenever you are in the process of looking at past failures, you're actually looking at pruning. You're looking at what are the pieces that are making, for example, that tree or that plant or that flower, what's like weighing it down, so that we can move ahead. So I want you to think about that. What is it that you need to do to embrace it? Embrace the process. Allow the pruning to happen. And again, the pruning is looking at what do I need to let go of? What worked? What didn't work? And owning it. And having that power, you have to own the failures to be able to own the success. So allow yourself to be pruned. Allow yourself to figure out what needs to go, what doesn't serve me anymore. And realizing pruning always comes before growth. You're wanting it, you're feeling called to go to the next level. You feel that this is a spiritual level and a spiritual calling for you. You see it, you see what's next for you. A lot of us have that clarity on what we want to go, where we want to reach the place we want to reach. But instead, if you're getting stuck, what I want you to start thinking is, how am I going to allow myself to dig deeper? How am I going to allow myself to look through this failure and learn from it? Instead of getting anxious, seeing that this is the way I need to go to the next level, and then get clear on what is it that you are being asked to let go of. What is God asking you to let go of from the past? What is he saying? Stop hiding, stop selling once a week, and start showing up and selling every day. Start leading from a place of that you feel called from. What are the things that you're resisting that you need to embrace? It's the question. And then who and what do you need to let go of that is really not serving you? And this can be mentors, clients, team members, so many other things, even the systems that you're using or a business model. And then understand that the season of pruning is meant to cut away any excess that could prevent you from bearing more fruit, from getting better results, and more impact. And I know that this is what we're going for, to help you hit that 5 to 10K months. So let's surrender to the process. Let's be guided. And let's nail it for the next 90 days. These are your 90 days. Own it, girl. And I am here to support you.